Salutations, my Fallout lovers. It is Matty here today, bringing you a very important Fallout 4 news update. Now, before anything, be sure to check out the link in the description of my previous video. That is my in-depth analysis on the Fallout 4 gameplay trailer revealed at E3 2015. Anyways, it appears that skills will not, you heard that correctly, not be in Fallout 4. Now, before anything, be sure to go down to the link in the description to Fudge Muppet, for they are the one who made this discovery, and as always on this channel, I like to give credit where credit is due, so be sure to give them props for finding out this very interesting information that sounds bad at first, but trust me when I say it's not as bad as it seems. So how was this information brought about? Well, during the display of the brand new Pip-Boy, we got to look at some of the skills. So right off the bat, before anything, we get a look at the status section where we see basically everything except skills mentioned. In previous Fallout games, we had a skills tab as well. As always in the Fallout games, we have the special system, and each part of the word special stands for a different skill and has its own description on the Pip-Boy. So starting off with strength. Strength is a measure of your raw physical power. It affects how much you can carry and the damage of all melee attacks. Quite interesting, is it not, considering melee weapons used to be its very own skill? Well, if you're not convinced, let's move down to perception. Perception is your environmental awareness and sixth sense, and affects weapon accuracy in VATS. Once again, it seems that the gun skill is in here, but perception now affects, instead of how much you can see and how much you can detect on your map, your guns as well. Moving on down to endurance, this one doesn't stand out too much. Endurance is a measure of your overall physical fitness. It affects your total health and action point drain from sprinting. So not much there, other than the fact that now we have confirmed sprinting will in fact be in the base game for Fallout 4. Charisma isn't that suspicious either, as it does what it normally does. Charisma is your ability to charm and convince others. It affects your success to persuade in dialogue and prices when you barter, so naturally it affects your speech skill as well as your barter skill. But next, in intelligence, is where things get quite interesting. Intelligence is a measure of your overall mental acuity and affects the number of experience points earned. Now, what stands out about that? It's not skill points, but experience points. Naturally, there is a leveling up system in Fallout 4. As you can see on the bottom, it's level 1 and you earn experience and you level up. But you don't seem to place any skill points in anything. Now, this clearly hints at the fact that Bethesda doesn't have any skills at the game. It's also quite interesting because now intelligence isn't going to be such a heavily relied upon perk, or rather skill, in the special system, and now it's going to be evenly balanced throughout. Agility also helps firm things up a bit. Agility is a measure of your overall finesse and reflexes. It affects the number of action points in VATS and your ability to sneak. Now naturally, sneak used to be its own separate skill, but now it seems that agility impacts your ability to sneak, so it doesn't really necessarily need the actual skill sneak. Luck doesn't add much to this argument, as luck is a measure of your general good fortune. It affects the recharge rate of critical hits and your chances of finding better items. Now, the recharge rate of critical hits I briefly discussed in my Fallout 4 gameplay trailer analysis, so if you want more on that, be sure to check that out. But obviously you need more evidence. I totally get you guys. We're Fallout fans. Come on. So basically what happens is when you're creating your character and you have to allocate points to your special stats, it appears that there's only 21 points, which would lead to a flat rate of 4 points per category there, rather than the normal 5 that we start out with, and then you decrease and add to different categories. It seems quite a bit low for Bethesda, and I feel like there's got to be some way to potentially increase this number. Furthermore, when Todd Howard was presenting Fallout 4's brand new weapons crafting system, he did mention the fact that perks would indeed impact the weapon creation system. Now, what's even more interesting about this is that now we're seeing a familiar skill in Fallout 4 be listed as a perk. As you can see on the bottom right hand side of the screen, we see science as a perk. Furthermore, as you can see in the next shot, this rank of this science perk increases. So perhaps now it's a multi-tiered perk system and focused on upping your special stats. Still not enough for you? Well, here's a perk from previous Fallout games, Gun Nut, being used as a required rank to work on this automatic assault rifle. What's interesting about this is that Gun Nut used to influence your gun stat in Fallout games, where it would increase it by 5 points, as well as your repair too. So I find it interesting that they're using it once again for the crafting system. But there you have it, Fallout fans. It seems like skills will not be in Fallout 4. Do I think this is a good thing or a bad thing? I think it's an interesting change of pace, and at first when I heard about it, I was like, oh god, please no. But then I got a deeper look at this system, and with some speculation, I'm pretty sure it's actually going to be okay and an interesting change. This leads to less OP characters and more in-depth character builds because it's more of a focus on the special system, as well as the perks that you develop throughout your levels. Anyways, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm very curious as to what you're thinking. Once again, thank you Fudge Muppet for this information. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Other than that, stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.